Hello students, this is your physical education teacher Llewellyn Pinto, and today is the last topic which we are going to learn about football and how it is played, and I will give you some of the information which is related to current football and the dimensions and how it is played. So we shall move ahead and we will also see that how football has evolved. So we will learn about the history of football. A football game is one of the most popular games in the world. It is called soccer game in foreign countries. It is known as football game in India. So that is the basic knowledge of football. This game is very popular in Europe. Due to its popularity, it is considered the king of games. This game is played in the most of the countries of the world. The Football World Cup is considered one of the most thrilling and popular game after World Olympic. Some good players of football are counted national wealth of the country. The government of Brazil has given Brazil wealth status to Pelé, the great football player of Brazil. The football game started in the year 1863 in England, so it is considered as a birthplace of the game. Players use socks up to knee, and so perhaps the football game is known as soccer. Okay, so this is a new thing which you would learn. International Football Federation. Now, International Football Federation FIFA established at Paris on 21st May 1904. Due to the establishment of FIFA, the rules of the football game are applied similarly in all the countries of the world. Today, most of the countries are members of it. International competitions are organized with its approval and help. The country which is not a member of FIFA is not allowed to participate in the international competition. Then comes Football World Cup. FIFA has accepted to organize Football World Cup in the year 1927. The honor of this scheme goes to Jules Rimet and Henri Delon, football lovers of France. The World Cup is organized every 4 years, but it is organized after 2 years of Olympic Games in different countries. It is organized regularly since 1930, except Second World War period. First time the World Cup was organized in Uruguay in the year of 1930. One thing should be kept in mind that from the year 1958 in the World Cup football competition, professional players can also participate. The modern Olympic Games was started in 1896, but the football game was included in the 1908 London Olympics. From that year, the football game is included in every Olympic. It should be kept in mind that only amateur players are allowed to participate in it. India has started Asian Games in 1951 at Delhi, and football game was included and India became champion in it. Since then, football game played regularly in Asian Games. Englishmen started this game in India. Dalhousie Football Club was established in India. Indian Football Association (IFA) was established in 1893. Thereafter, that association was transformed into All India Football Federation (AIFF). National trophy of this game is called Santosh Trophy in India. Nowadays, it is the ISL, Indian Super League. This trophy was started in 1941. Moreover, other tournaments are also played regularly. Indian women also play football. Indian women team secured third place in Asian Women's Football Cup in 1981. The full form of FIFA is Federation International de Football Association. So the full form of FIFA is that. So now students, we should know how is the dimension of the ground and how it is played. So we'll talk about the ground. The football game is played on rectangular ground. For international competitions, the length of the ground should be 110 to 120 yards, which is 100 to 110 meters in length, and width of the ground should be 70 to 80 yards, that means 64 to 75 meters in width. For other competitions, the measurements of the ground should be as unders. That we shall see in the figure which is going to be shown next. And this is the length of the ground, as you can see, 90 to 120 meters, that is for the domestic, but for international it is 100 to 110 and width is 64 to 75. Then comes the center line. The center circle arc is 9.15 meters or 10 yards. In the same way, the penalty arc also is 9.15 meters. Then comes from the flag post or from the corner line, the minimum distance which the ball has to be kept, and the player has to stand, is 9.15 meters. So an optional mark over there is kept is 9.15 meters. Then comes the goal area. The goal area is 5.50 meters and the penalty area is 16.50 meters. Then the penalty mark is 11 meters. Then comes the goal post. So the height of the goal post is 2.44 meters and 7.32 meters in width. So as we see over here, the measurement of the football ground, 100 yards to 130 yards is 90 to 120 and 50 yards to 100 yards, that is 45 to 90 meters. That is in domestic. Usually we use this measurements. Then width of the goal 8 yards, 7.32 meters and the height of the goal post is 2.44 meters. The circumference measurement of the goal post or the goal poles and crossbar should be 5 inches or 12 centimeters, not more than that. Then the goal area, the corner arc which we saw in the figure is 1 meters. Okay, in the it is 1 meters and the penalty arc, as we discussed, is 9.15 meters. The flag, the height of the flag should be 5 feet or 1.50 meters and it shall be placed at each corner. A similar flag post may be placed opposite the halfway line, 1 meter away from the touch line on each side of the playing field. That is optional. So marking of the play field, the field of play shall be marked with distinctive lines not more than 5 centimeters in width. The lines are included in the play field. Then comes the equipments. A ball, goal net, corner flags and stocking for the goalkeeper are required for this game. Then the ball. The circumference of the ball shall be 27 to 28 inches, 68 to 71 centimeters. The weight of the ball should be 14 to 16 ounce or 396 to 453 grams. Then the ball, the boots and uniform. There are special type of boots in football game. There are 10 studs on the sole. So you can see in the figure there are studs and it is called a stud. The stud should be minimum of 3.8 inches in diameter. Most of the players wear boot, long socks, jersey and short. There are numbers printed on the back side of the jersey. There should be similar uniform of a whole team. So the whole team has to wear a similar uniform other than the goalkeeper. The uniform of the goalkeeper is distinctive than the other players taking part in the game. He can wear hand gloves also. He wears a long sleeve jersey. A player shall not wear anything which is dangerous to any other player. It is the responsibility of each player to come on the ground with proper uniform. So it is the responsibility of the player to come in a proper kit or a proper uniform. Then comes the skills. So there are different types of skills in the game of football, and the first is throw in. When the ball goes beyond the touch line, rolling or crosses it in the air, it will be regarded as having gone out of the boundary. When the ball goes out of the boundary line, a player from the team opposite to the team whose player was responsible for sending the ball out will be given throw in. He puts the ball in play and following matters should be kept in mind for throw in. The throw in is executed from the spot where the ball has crossed the touchline. The thrower will take his position facing the ground while throwing. The thrower must keep both his feet touching the out part of touchline ground while throwing. The thrower should take the ball in both hands behind his head and shall throw the ball forward with both his hands. He should not put the ball slowly in the ground. A ball should be thrown with both hands. No direct goal can be scored with a throw-in. The thrower will not be able to play the ball again until one of the players touches or plays it. So he cannot play it again once he throws the ball inside. Either the opponent team player or his teammate has to touch the ball, but he cannot touch it again. The next skill is passing. It is risky for a player to keep the ball in his possession for a long time and try playing with it, for the opponents will directly attack a player who has the ball in his possession. In such a situation, when a player is surrounded by the opponents, he passes the ball to a teammate who is in a better position to play. This skill is known as passing. So, in order to pass the ball to a teammate, a player uses the kick skill. He can also pass the ball coming through the air directly by using the heading skill. If the ball is to be passed on to player who is standing at some distance away, the player uses the in-step kick skill. If he has to send the ball to the left or right side, he uses the inside of kick. The success of the passing action depends upon the accuracy and judgment of the player. An agile player passes the ball coming through the air by giving it a suitable kick. This is called the volley. And in this volley kick, the ball doesn't touch the ground. In the air, only the ball is kicked and passed. Then comes the heading. To prevent a ball coming from some height in the air from falling on the ground, the player hits the ball with his forehead. This skill is called heading. While heading, the action of hitting the ball must be done with the forehead. The body is bent backwards and is to be extended from the waist with a jerk to where the ball is to be contacted, and both the arms are bent at the elbows. The muscles of the neck are hardened and both legs are slightly bent at the knees. Heading is divided into different types depending on the direction which the ball goes after it is hit with the forehead. If the ball passes towards the front, it is called forward heading. If the ball goes from above the head, it is called upward heading. If the ball goes downwards, it is called downward heading, and if it goes towards the side, it is called sideward heading, and if it goes towards the back side, it is called a backward heading. During all these different types of heading, the body is bent slightly backward or forward, but every time the body should be brought forward with jerk at the waist, and it should be hit with the forehead. That is also for a better accuracy. Then comes kicking. When a player sends the ball at the short distance or a long distance with a kick is called kicking. This is one of the most important and basic skill in the football game. This skill is useful for passing the ball which is coming towards him or is in his possession towards his teammate, or if the situation is favorable, sending it to the goal with a kick. There are 7 different types of kicking: in-step kicking, inside of the foot kick, outside of the foot kick, drop kick, ground kick, push kick, and volley kick. In volley kick also it is a full volley or a half volley. So then comes the goalkeeping, the most important player in the game, and is the goalkeeper. The goalkeeper plays an important role to stop the goal. The goalkeeper is privileged to push or catch the ball with the hand to protect the goal post till the penalty area, which is of 16.50 meters. So his position and responsibilities are different from the other members of the team. He is expected to be more skilled than the other players. The goalkeeper plays the ball more often with his hands than with his feet. But as football has evolved, the goalkeepers now are playing the ball with their feet. So this is a new way of playing the game. But yes, to stop the ball, they do use the hand. So the goalkeeper must always stand firmly. Okay, so he has to stand firmly and like a wall between the ball and the goal to protect the goal. The goalkeeper has to use his hands, feet, and head to stop and throw away the ball coming from any side. Sometimes he has to dive to catch or stop the ball. The goalkeeper is expected to have a perfect coordination to his arms and legs and the maximum capacity to maintain the balance of his body. He is very agile and he is good in reflexes. And usually the goalkeepers are tall. In addition to the ability to catch, push, and throw the ball, the goalkeeper is expected to master the skill of kicking, dribbling, and dodging also. Then comes defending and attacking. So these are the different skills which are used tactically in the game of football, which is defending and attacking. So position play. There are 11 players in each team of football. Generally 5 players, forward players of front line, are known as right out, right in, center forward, left out and left in, while 3 players of center line are known as right halfback, center halfback and left halfback. 2 players of back line are known as right fullback and left fullback. The protector of goal is known as goalkeeper. A goalkeeper shall wear full sleeve jersey of separate colors which distinguish him from the other players. Now students, as we know that these are the positions of the players, and during the play these positions according to the skill of the player they have been designated, and according to that formations also are decided. So that is the skill of the coach who decides how to get the players in a position and in a particular tactic of position where to play and how to play. So there are formations which the coach use in the game of football. Then comes team game. The play field of football is a big one. In this big ground, a player has to play instead of individual, he has to play team game, and then with the combined efforts of the players it is easy for defense and attacking, and it may be transformed in good performance and result. Generally in football game the formation M and W are for attacking and defending. In this formation 5 players of front line play in M formation and 5 players of back line also play in W formation. At the time of attacking, the front 5 players have completely forward. 5 players of back line go up to the half ground and pass the ball to the forward players for goal. While they play in reverse formation M, they do attack and defense. In this formation, right in and left in play forward and center forward, right out and left out players play back. In the same way, rear half back and full back players play in M formation. When the 5 attack players of front line go to the opposite ground for goal, the defender players, except the goalkeeper, 3 halfback and 2 fullback players, seize each player and perform as defend in football game. So now this all depends on the formation the coach decides and the playing style. So the formation differs from 1 goalkeeper, 4 defenders, 3 midfielders and 3 attackers. In the same way, this is one formation which I am explaining it to you. There are different type of formations which a coach can decide, and this is a playing style, a gameplay, because if you want to play build up from back means usually the ball is kicked by the goalkeeper. But nowadays as the football has evolved, so the playing also has changed. So the ball which was played high up in the air is now more played on the ground, and ground passes are more effective. So instead of kicking the ball in the air, the ball is passed by the goalkeeper to the own teammate, where it is more effective and it is more possession wise game which is played. So these are the things which are played and evolved in football. Whereas the another formation if we talk about is 4-2-3-1. So in this it is 1 goalkeeper, then comes 4 defenders, then comes 3 3 or 2, 4-2, 3-1. There are strategies also. When players play in their own half playground and perform defensive duty, he is allotted main defensive duty. If there is need, he goes every now and then to help his player and maintain the coordination among the players. So that is also a strategy in set plays. Now what is a set play? Set plays are free kicks or corner kicks. So all these are set plays where the ball is set and then you have to play after the whistle blows by the referee. And these are also different type of strategies where the coaches use in effective play and to score a goal. So after this comes the rules of the game. Now when we talk about rules, football game has laws, and FIFA has prepared a book which describes the laws of the games. So the laws, there are 17 laws mentioned in the laws of the game, and for now there are a lot of changes which have been done in the game of football. During this pandemic situation also, there are different changes which we will discuss and I will talk about has happened in the game of football. First, let us see the rules of the games. The football game will be played between two teams, each consisting of 11 players at the beginning of the game. Any team can start playing with 7 members. One of them will act as the goalkeeper. Players who arrive late may join the game with the permission of the referee. But the members of team should not be more than 7 players. No player will leave the ground during the play. If a player leaves the ground during play, he will not be able to re-enter the ground before the end of the game. So now that also has evolved, and if it is not at the end of the game, but if the player leaves the ground during play, then with the permission of the referee, he can enter the ground. Each team can use 2 substitutions anytime during the course of the game. So there also, when we are talking about substitutions and we are talking about the football game which has evolved, this is the old rules which were applicable first, but there are many changes which have happened. It was from 2 substitutions, it had become 3 substitutions, and 3 substitutions were for the rest of the game. So a team can substitute a player for the rest of the game, and once the player is substituted, he cannot re-enter the game. Then comes after this substitution, now in an advanced mode of substitution during this pandemic situation, the laws have changed, and a new substitution method is come up, in that there are 5 substitutions. So number of substitutions are 5, but there are 3 windows. 3 windows means the option of substitutions are 3. So for example, you have 5 number of substitutions players whom you can substitute, but you will get only 3 turns, or 3 times you will be able to substitute those 5 substitutions. So if the first opportunity when you are getting to substitute, you can substitute 2, you can substitute 1, you can substitute all 5. Okay, if you are substituting 2 players in the first option, then in the second one, when you are substituting, you can substitute another 2. So your 2 substitution options are over. Then remains only 1 substitution option. So in that 1 substitution offer, now you have to see that how many players are left to substitute. So first, if you have substituted 2, second you have substituted 2, then you have only 1 player to substitute, so that you can substitute. And there is an additional substitution which can be done in the half time. Apart from these 5 substitutions, you can substitute an additional player who can be substituted in the half time. So this is the new law which has been introduced in the game of football. How the game is started, we shall know. The game starts with the tossing of the coin. The team which wins the toss chooses either the side of their ground or start, means kicking. The ball is placed on the center point of the ground, and when it is steady, the player who is to kick kicks the ball. At the time of kicking, all remaining players stand in their own sides of the ground away from the ball. Away from the ball is 9.15 meters distance which they have to maintain. Then, if during play the ball goes beyond the end line or the touch line, rolling or crosses it in the air, it will be considered as having gone out of the boundary. The side boundary lines are included as part of the ground. So the ball touching the outer edge of the line will be considered as in. When the ball goes out of the boundary line, a player from the team opposite to the team whose player was responsible for sending the ball out will be given a throw-in. The throw-in is executed from the out parts of the spot where the ball had crossed the boundary line. The thrower will take his position facing the ground and will place the ball in both his hands over his head and throws the ball with both hands with both his hands. With this action, the ball will come into play. The thrower will not be able to play the ball again until one of the players touches or plays it. No direct goal can be scored. We saw it before also with a throw-in. The thrower must keep both his feet touching the ground until the ball is released from his hands. Then comes penalties. So if the throw isn't wrong, the opposite team will get the chance to throw in from the same spot. If the thrower plays the ball before any other player touches or plays it, the opposite team will be given an indirect free kick. Then, if the ball passes between the two goal posts and under the horizontal bar and crosses the goal line either in the air or on the ground, it will be considered as a goal scored. Now, see, if it is touching the player during a throw, then it will be called a goal by a own teammate or the opponent. But if it doesn't touch anybody, then it is not a goal. If a defending player crosses the goal line from between the posts with the ball in his hands, it will also be considered as a goal. Now that is a little bit I'm saying that football has evolved. Now nobody can touch the ball with his hand. So if the ball is touched with the hands of the defender, then it is a penalty kick for the opponent team. And then comes the card. So that is a sanction which is given to the players who is creating an offense here. Then if the ball coming as a result of an indirect free kick is kicked or touched by a player of either team and it crosses the goal line between the two posts and from under the crossbar, it will be considered as a goal. So it's a deflection which happens in the game, and when it crosses the line of the goal, it is called a goal. If during play the attacking team sends a ball and it goes rolling on the ground or flying in the air beyond the goal line, a player from the defending team will place the ball in the middle of the goal area on the side by which the ball had gone out and then execute a goal kick. So now if the opponent player kicks the ball and the ball crosses the goal line, now where the goal post is placed, that line is called the goal line. Okay, so when it crosses both the sides of the ground, not in the goal post but on the sides of the ground or over the goal post, then the goalkeeper gets an opportunity. He takes the ball and he places the ball and takes a goal kick. When the goal kick is being executed, all the players of attacking team will stand outside the penalty area. After the goal kick, the ball will not be considered as being in play until the ball goes out of the penalty area. If the ball does not go out of penalty area, the goal kick will be given again. The player who kicks the ball will not be able to play the ball again, same way in the throw-in, until any player touches or plays it. If the same player plays the ball in second time, it will be considered breach of rule and the opposite team will be awarded an indirect free kick from the spot where the fault was committed. Then fifth one, a ball which has last touched a player of the defending team, or if a ball hit by a player of defending team crosses the goal line while rolling on the ground or through the air, the attacking team will be awarded a corner kick. The corner kick will be executed by placing the ball in the area drawn on the side by which the ball went out, and the kick will be executed from here. During a football match, not more than 11 players will play in each team. Okay, so during a football match, not more than 11 players will be playing in each team. One of them will be a goalkeeper. During play, no player will be allowed to leave the ground without the permission of the referee. Then, during play, a maximum of 2 substitute players can take place of the regular players with the permission of the referee. 5 substitute players can be appointed in the team. But here also there is a change, as we said, as football has evolved. Even in the first option of the substitution, you can change all the 5 members together. Okay, and the other 2 remains. If you want to use, you can divide it into 3 parts. So in these 3 parts, all the 5 substitutions can be done. How many number of players you want to do, but maximum 5. So the game will consist of 2 halves of 45 minutes each. There will be a break of 10 minutes between the 2 halves. Now here also there is a change, as I mentioned, that instead of 10 minutes there is 15 minutes break in between 2 halves. After this break, both the teams will change their ground at the end of the first half or at the end of the game. But at the first half, once the first half is over, then they go for the break. After 15 minutes when they return, they change the ground to play the second half. After this break, both the teams will change their ground at the end of the first half or at the end of the game. If a team has been awarded penalty kick, the game will be extended by the time needed to complete the penalty kick. So if the match is draw, and if the match is draw and no team has scored, then it will go into a penalty kick if it is a knockout. But before penalty kicks, there is an extra time which is being played. If at the end of the play both the teams have scored equal number of goals or no goals at the result and the results are same, then both the teams will be given 2 extra turns of 15 minutes of each. So 15 minutes each, the teams will be given turns. So another 15, 5, 15, another half an hour the team has to play, and then in those extra time, if the teams do not score and the score remains equal, then it goes to the penalty kicks. If in spite of play being extended to extra time, if both the teams are still equal, each team will be given 5 penalty kicks. The referee will decide the goal post for the penalty kicks. Each team will take the kick by turns. Each kick will be executed by different players. No player will be allowed to kick twice. So this is the procedure which follows till first 11 players, and if till then also if there is score is equal, then again it starts from the first player, and there the sequence can change. Then how many officials we will discuss are there in one match. So one chief referee, as they have said, a chief referee, that is not a chief referee but it is a match commissioner who is handling the match and who takes on the match, who organizes, who goes in for the refereeing. He is the main referee. And then instead of the linesman, they said on the linesman, but it is not a linesman, it is called the assistant referee. So there are 2 assistant referees for a referee, that is assistant referee 1 and assistant referee 2. Then comes the 4th official. So the 4th official will be standing outside, who will be managing the substitutions and the technical area and the bench of the players. There is no scorer over here. The main referee only is the authority who calculates and does the scoring. There is no timekeeper also, because the 4th official or the main referee who is in the match is known as the timekeeper and also is known as the scorer. So these are the total number of referees. So usually 4 number of referees are used in a match, and they will have to report to a match commissioner. So in this way we complete our chapter of football, and you know how football has evolved. We have talked about that also, and new strategies and new things are being done in the situation of pandemic also. Games have been changing. Some indoor games have not started, but this is an outdoor game, so it has started and is being played worldwide. So here we also finish our portion of PT. And students, if you have any doubt, you can personally meet me in the school premises. Thank you.